Bishop DeDe. It is early, but we are up and moving and being and getting ready for this beautiful day. Um, and I want to welcome you to this space, whatever platform you're on, to know that if you comment and make a post, then I'll be able to see that. And this can be more of a conversation. I'm also interested in what is on your mind this morning. What would be helpful to you with all that you have going on, with the way that your day is? What would be helpful to you to be mindful of God walking with you, to be attentive to the way in which God might be moving around you? And how might we begin this day with an intentionality that we are going to literally walk with God through the day? When I was in high school in a youth group, one of the youth group leaders did a kind of a teaching activity, and it really had a profound impact on me. All these years later, I still think of this practice. But he put a chair in the room and he said, I want you to take a minute prayerfully and imagine that Jesus is sitting with us in whatever way you can picture God's presence. And then in our conversation, as we're talking, to be aware that God is with us literally. And something about having that chair in the room and physically kind of locating God in a way um, really helped my high school brain think about the way in which we often go through our life and imagine God somewhere far away or in a different place, or God is always with us. We know these things. But emotionally, to connect with God, I think for humans takes a little bit of intentionality. It takes a focus to say, God is here with me in this moment. And while I may not feel it and may not have anything necessarily to say, or I have a lot to say, God is here. And so, as we're going through this day today, my prayer for all of us is that we will be attentive to God being with us, that God is here with you. And so, I'm glad to start this morning. Um, so, Oh, wonderful. Good to see you, Barbara. And yes, beautiful confirmation service. That was so great on Sunday. Um, I was at a church. We had 25 confirmands and receptions. So it was a beautiful, beautiful service and fun day at Trinity Fayetteville. And so, Kathy, good to see you this morning. Um, uh, Yes, so great to be with you at Trinity. So, with your intentionality this day, and as you think of walking through this day with God and God being with you, I wonder what would be helpful to you. Would it be helpful for you to take moments today to pray and quietly? One of my favorite prayers, I say this a lot in this live space, is the prayer on a breath where you, as you breathe in, you think, Come, Lord Jesus. And as you breathe out, you say, Fill me with your grace, or be present in this, moment. Whatever is helpful to you. It can be also a verse. But to breathe in into and slowly and breathe out slowly and be aware of God's presence with you. And you can do that silently anywhere you may find yourself, and it can help us center, especially if things are stressful or moving fast or excited and moving fast, to breathe and be aware of God's presence. And in that presence, to readjust our the way we're looking at the world, to see that no matter what is happening in the world, God is bigger than that. Whatever is happening in the world, God's commandment to love God with all that we are and love our neighbor as ourselves is the foundation, is the starting place. And in this world, loving our neighbor isn't really always at all of value. People are very caught up in dehumanization or hatred or separating from someone else or vengefulness or fighting, or there's so much pressing in on us that can push us away from our understanding and belief and confidence that it is when we love each other that we find peace. It is when we care about one another where we find our greatest meaning in life. Good morning, Marty and Audrey. So that glad that y'all are here. It's great to get the team back together. I also want to say I probably need to start talking about this now. Um, I'm thinking in June of doing a slightly different thing, so I want to introduce it today. I'm going to introduce it a couple of times. Um, the first week in June, we'll announce it. We'll put out, things in the news. I want to try having live at noon on the first Tuesday in June, and do that for the month of June, and just try it and see how that is for everyone. A comment that I hear frequently is, "I would love to be part of that, but it's just too early." Or, "I'd love to be part of that. That's when I'm, driving my kids to school." And so by having this at noon, I'm wondering if it opens up for people the opportunity to be here live, and we'll do it for 1 month. And if it isn't a fit or doesn't work, we're very adaptive in the Diocese of Central New York. We can make the change back. But for the month of May, it's going to be at 7:30, and then the first Tuesday in June, we'll try at noon, and then go from there. So, good morning. Hey, Lynn. Good. Glad that you're here. Barbara. Um, uh, yes, very busy day today. Wonderful. Yes. So, during a busy day, to just doesn't have to be you can keep moving. Don't have to quit doing what you're doing, to just be like, God's right here with me. Um, and then I think the thing that also happens when we think about God being with us, it can really change how we relate to something. Because sometimes I think we think, oh, God's not really watching right now. So you know, in this moment, I'm just not going to care about somebody's feelings. But then that means we're not caring about our feelings, because love your neighbor as yourself is a reciprocal relationship, that when we're loving we feel loved, and when we're uh, hateful we feel uh, hate or destabilized. When we're unkind we feel the unkindness well up in it. It's like a garden. What we plant is what blossoms. And so we want to change our mind about being harsh with one another, and we want to open ourselves up to be kind and considerate and compassionate, that we may also find kindness, consideration, and compassion. um, so as you think about this, you know I'm going to say it is still spring day. It is in Central New York. Today is going to be lovely. Tomorrow, but today is lovely. um, and as we see the sun and the birds, and we see life all around us, in what way is your life a reflection of this new spring day? Because in addition to God being with us, is an invitation that our lives be about what God's created our life to be about. So the skills and those talents that we have, the things we love to do, the things we're not so crazy about doing, but we do because we're people of integrity and dedication. So, in this space of this time, to be attentive to the choices we're making. Are we being courageous and living the life we've been called to live? I get asked quite often about calling. How do you know if you have a calling? Is there something that's always on your heart that comes back? That when you're in the midst of doing other things, especially when you're busy, on your mind is an issue or a desire or a purpose, that you think somebody should go do that. I often think when we tell other people somebody should do something about fill in the blank, that's our calling, because we can see it. Somebody should do something about that means God might be calling me to do something about that, whatever that may be for you. So, in the midst of this busy day, to be attentive to the way in which who you are, what is drawing you, and what is calling you might be actually really calling you, might be really part of God's leading for your life. Um, Now, this morning in the Diocese of Central New York, we have a very important opportunity to celebrate what God has done. We're going to be giving thanks for and celebrating the resurrection of Jesus, and folding in and being attentive to the grace of our love for Peter Williams, who passed away recently, a priest in this diocese, a dear friend, and a person that we've all loved. So I ask your prayers this morning for all who are grieving, for Peter's loss, and all who are um, feeling really destabilized by all that's happening around us. That in this time together, we will draw closer to the resurrection of Jesus and find our peace and our hope in our faith. Now let's see Marty's prayer. Oh, that's right. Make me a blessing today. And Marty, I can say I think you are a blessing. So that's really great. But yes, I know just what you mean. Today, can I be part of blessing this world? Can I be part of helping this world? Can I be part of offering to this world something that's different? Forgiveness or love or compassion? Can I be part of a generosity of God? And then Lynn, um, yeah, Peter was so uplifting and funny, always bringing yes, smile to everyone. I miss him very much because he was just a joy to be around, and I'm grateful for his life and his ministry that was always calling all of us to be generous and kind and inclusive, to welcome all and be part of what God is doing. Well, so this day, starting with intentionality, thinking about how our words and our actions might offer a different narrative to the world, a narrative of peace, of hope, of inclusion, of dignity and justice, how what we might be part of an ongoing work of God. And in that ongoing work, how we might be living our best life today, making decisions that align with our deepest purpose and calling. So, whatever you're doing today, I pray that you will be blessed and that you will be a blessing and that you will go from this space knowing that God loves you, God cares for you, God is calling you, and you have a part to play in the healing of this world and the proclamation of God's love to this world. So be blessed and be a blessing. And I look forward to talking with you next week.